Finn lived under the waves with seaweed hair and ocean blue eyes. He called a giant clamshell home and breathed underwater. Finn was the fishy boy. One sunny afternoon, while exploring beyond the kelp forest, Finn saw something new. A group of dolphins were leaping and spinning near the surface. They were sleek and gray, with clever, smiling faces. Finn had never seen creatures move so fast. He was a little shy at first, hiding behind a large piece of brain coral. He watched them play, their happy clicks and whistles echoing through the water. They looked like they were having so much fun, chasing each other in graceful arcs and making the water bubble with their games. Finn felt a strong desire to join them, but he wasn't sure if they would welcome a boy into their pod. Sparky, being brave and bold, zipped right up to the dolphins. He swam in tiny circles around the biggest dolphin's nose. The dolphin, whose name was Echo, giggled a series of high-pitched clicks. He gently nudged Sparky with his snout. Seeing that they were friendly, Finn slowly swam out from his hiding spot. He waved a small, hesitant wave. Echo turned his intelligent eyes towards Finn and chirped a welcome. The other dolphins, named Splash and Coral, swam closer too, their movements smooth and full of curiosity. They had never seen a boy who could breathe underwater before. The dolphins were amazing new friends. They showed Finn how to ride the fast-moving ocean currents like an underwater roller coaster. Finn would hold on to Echo's dorsal fin, and they would speed through the water faster than he had ever gone before. It was thrilling. Splash taught him how to blow perfect bubble rings, which would float up to the surface like wobbly jellyfish. Coral, the gentlest of the pod, showed Finn a secret cave filled with glowing plankton that lit up the darkness like 1,000 tiny stars. He was learning so much about the bigger ocean world from his new friends. Finn introduced his new dolphin friends to his old friends. Gus the pufferfish was very impressed with their speed, though he preferred his own slow and steady pace. Sparky loved racing the dolphins, even though he could never win. Together, they formed a new group, the Coral City Crew. They explored together, played together, and looked after their part of the ocean. With the dolphins, Finn could travel further and see more wonders than ever before. His world, which he already thought was perfect, had just become even bigger and more exciting. The heart of Coral City was a giant oyster named Mother Opal. Inside her shell, she held the most beautiful pearl in the entire ocean. It was called the Heart of the Sea. This pearl was not just pretty, it was magical. It glowed with a soft, warm light that helped the corals stay colorful and the sea plants grow strong and healthy. Every creature in their community loved the pearl. They would often gather around Mother Opal to watch its gentle light pulse, feeling safe and warm. The pearl was the source of all the life and vibrancy in their corner of the ocean. One morning, a strange quiet fell over the reef. Finn swam out of his clamshell and noticed the colors looked dull. The bright pinks and oranges of the coral seemed faded. The playful fish were hiding, and even the seaweed drooped sadly. Finn swam quickly to the center of the city where Mother Opal rested. A crowd of worried sea creatures was gathered around her. Mother Opal's shell was wide open, and inside, it was empty. The heart of the sea was gone. A gasp went through the crowd. Without the pearl's light, their beautiful home would slowly lose its magic. Panic began to spread. The crabs clicked their claws nervously, and the little shrimps scurried back and forth with no direction. "What will we do?" cried a small clownfish, his stripes looking less bright than usual. Gus the pufferfish tried to stay calm. Now, let's not panic. We must think," he said, though his voice trembled a little. Finn looked at the sad, empty shell and felt a great responsibility. This was his home. These were his friends. He had to do something to bring the light back to their world. Finn stood before the worried crowd. "Don't worry, everyone," he announced, his voice clear and brave. "We will find the pearl." He turned to his friends. "The Coral City crew will solve this mystery." Echo the dolphin nodded, his jaw set with determination. Sparky zipped around Finn's head, ready for action. Gus puffed himself up slightly, a sign he was ready to help. Together, they would search every corner of their ocean home. They would not rest until the heart of the sea was found and brought back to its rightful place. The Coral City crew started their search immediately. Finn knew they needed a plan. "Echo, you and the dolphins are the fastest. Can you search the open water and the deep trenches?" he asked. Echo chirped an enthusiastic yes and sped off with Splash and Coral. "Gus," Finn continued, "you know all the caves and crevices. Can you search the rocky parts of the reef?" Gus gave a slow, determined nod and began to float towards the darkest nooks. "Sparky, you're small enough to look inside all the empty shells and under-the-sea anemones." Sparky saluted with his tiny fin and darted away. Finn decided to search the kelp forest, where something could easily get tangled and lost. The search was difficult. Finn swam up and down every single stalk of kelp, peering under every leaf. Gus squeezed into tight, dark spaces, his big eyes scanning for any sign of a glow. The dolphins covered miles of ocean, their powerful sonar clicking and searching for the lost pearl. For hours, they found nothing. The reef grew a little dimmer, and the hope of the sea creatures began to fade. Finn started to feel discouraged. What if the pearl was lost forever? What if their home could never be bright and happy again? He felt the weight of his promise on his shoulders. Just as he was about to give up, Finn heard a faint sound. It was a tiny, sad little squeak coming from a dense patch of seaweed near the edge of the forest. He swam closer to investigate. There, tangled in the thick green strands, was a tiny baby octopus. It was crying, and clutched tightly in one of its little tentacles was the heart of the sea. The baby octopus had seen the shiny, glowing ball and had taken it to play with, not knowing it was so important. It had then become hopelessly tangled and couldn't get back home. The pearl's light was dim because the baby octopus was so scared and sad. Finn gently untangled the little octopus. As soon as it was free, it hugged Finn's arm with its tentacles, squeaking happily. Finn took the pearl and held it up. Its light began to grow brighter and stronger again. He called for his friends, and soon the whole Coral City crew was there. They guided the baby octopus back to its mother, who was very relieved. Then, with all the sea creatures watching, Finn carefully placed the heart of the sea back into Mother Opal's shell. A brilliant, warm light pulsed outwards, and instantly, the colors of the reef returned, brighter and more beautiful than ever. The fish cheered, and the ocean was filled with happiness once more, all thanks to the Fishy boy and his amazing friends.